All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into another stream day by myself, Mr. Hastings, and we're out back. If you guys are new here, make sure you give it a like, give it a share, see what we're all about. Go check us out at www.paperchairs.io. But if you guys are new here, in the morning we typically could do a stream. We outline the interaction between the Asia session and the London session and see what price can do going into that New York session. Let me switch the vibe a little bit here. Let's see what we got here. We need to find this radio. Let's do this one. Go to radio. All right. Anyways, as I was saying, in the morning we come in, we take a look at the price action, see the interaction between the Asia session, London session, see what price can do go into that New York session. At night we come in and we review the price action, see what happened, give you guys some headers heading into the overnight session, and then we also take a look at some crypto and some stocks. So let's take a look here for today for NQ. Right, we do have these 12-hour levels that we outline, and we have outlined them for the past few months now. I want to say they've been drawn out for a while, and this is what we use, or at least this is what I use inside the group to trade, right? So you can see how well we are respecting some of these levels and how well of the reactions that we see out of them, right? And this kind of basically waiting on the price to reach that certain point and then capturing the reaction out of it, capturing what price wants to do from that point and using it as targets or using it as any sort of point where you can capture a reaction on the market. So you can see, as we initially retraced into here last week, we took some shorts at night at 25,414 was a major level that we rejected and got that continuation to the downside out of. Currently we are holding the bottom here at 24,632.75 with the bodies closing right there, and then also 24,494.25. And you can see over here as we were going into that New York session, we initially had that. God, I cannot fucking speak today. Let's see. So initially going into the New York session, right, as we were looking at it this morning, Asia session saw a bit of a consolidation, right? So then London saw that manipulation to the downside, retesting this 24,494.25 level with no bodies closing below it. If we do not have displacement below a certain level, then we can mark it safe for a continuation or reversal to the upside, right? Here we've sent the little wick over here on the 15-minute as well. Sent the wick, next candle reverse, no bodies closing below it, or no bodies necessarily going way below that liquidity right there. Hourly sweep of this, and we get that reversal to the upside. Going into the New York session, we have an initial SFP here going into that hourly candle. There's that 9 a.m. candle, right? This is 4 hours 60. That's why. So here, right, we have that wick to the upside. We have an outside hour candle forming out. Next candle opens up. The closing price of that previous body is holding the current price up right there at 9 a.m. So that gives us continuation to the upside and confidence that price wants to expand and continue to the upside. Given that we are also opening below the New York midnight open, we typically like to have that retracement, not during Monday, but during Wednesdays and during Tuesdays, or Wednesdays, Thursdays, they typically do like to retrace it back into that New York session midnight open. NYMO, that's what I type out every time. So over here, going into that New York session, right, we have that initial sweep right there, SFB forming out. Then the next candle opens up 9:30 over here, sweeping the previous 5-minute low. We're also holding this 24,632.75 level, and you can see on the 15-minute how well we held that. All the bodies are closing below it, or I mean above it. And over here, we also get that rising Big Six, which gives us that continuation to the upside or confidence that price wants to go up. So from here, you can just target those longs at the Asia top, or you can also target the previous daily high, given that we had that previous daily low sweep displaced below it. Then we got back above it, displaced through the previous daily mid somewhere over here, and then continue to the upside. Let me outline that for you. There's that whole CE. There we go, right? So previous daily low, we got back above it here. And then as we got above the previous daily 50, we could confidently say that price wants to come up to that previous daily high, as we do with other candles, right? We do that on the hourly, we do that on the 4 hour. So currently, all right, over here, as we were going into that Asia session today too, we swept the previous hourly low or previous 4 hour low, but looking at the top over here, we kept on rejecting that previous quarterly open at 25.098. We marked that out as our 12-hour level as well over here, 25.098 right here. Right there's that previous quarterly open, and you can see how well price has respected that level previously in the past, and now we are treating it as a rejection point almost for any one of these candles, and that gives us that continuation into the downside right now. Still holding above the Sunday open. Previous week low has been swept, so going into the rest of the week or going into maybe tomorrow, we could be looking at that previous weekly mid at 25.08150. And if we get through that, we can see a solid continuation to the upside. Like making sure my mic is on. But currently, right, for right now, we were watching the continuation into the downside. We took some shorts earlier that played out on the 1 minute we were playing this. We got an initial SFB here on that 5 minutes / 1 minute consolidation, and then continuation of sweeps of those levels. And there's some liquidities that are residing below here that we can potentially come down and get. We'll be watching this previous daily 50 as a potential level for a bounce here going into that session. So something, maybe they want to sweep these liquidities, maybe watch a bounce right there and see where they lead from it. One thing that looking to get better at is definitely taking those trades that I'm outlining right now. So we're going to keep at it, looking at a potential around the PD 50 area. Reaction. So we're going to keep on watching reaction here. See if maybe price does want to come down into this little area. Retested as that would be OTE of this range, probably around the 786, 618 probably ish. There we go. B, not SD, want to be OTE. Yeah, right into those 618s. That will line up pretty decently with that previous daily 50. So if we cannot hold this, then we will likely continue to the downside. And if we displace this level at 24,745.75, we're going to be looking for further continuation to the downside. See, that level has been respected multiple times before in the prior sessions. With the UT of the range here. We're going to continue watching this inside the OTE here. This would be an order block on the 4 hour. And yeah, on the 4 hour, we still have a fair value gap below, way below here, that we can potentially retest. Actually, that fair value gap does line up with that 50. So wouldn't be too bad of an area to catch a little bounce out of, a possibility for a bounce. 24,789 is the area that we're going to target for any potential moves here. And let's maybe let's do this. There we go, right? And we can maybe target like the bottom of this session right there whenever price decides to enter within this point over here. Can possibly, right? If they break below 786 might be our stop here, and then continuation into something. As you can see, they're gushing it down pretty well as we're breaking these liquidities right now. And if we're breaking a hole below these, possibly watch for a retest of them, right? Break and hold, retest it, continuation to the downside. These liquidities lined up pretty well. That's what I got on the day. This is possibly an aggressive move against the trend here as well. 25,098 is a pretty decent level. That previous quarterly open is going to be important for us to watch. So watching the OT of the current leg to the upside. So we're going to be watching the OT, which is pretty much this whole day, right? We're going to be watching the OTE here. Within here, we did not sweep this liquidity, which was left on the downside. So there's some potential for a continuation, but there's also some potential to not continue to the downside and do absolutely fucking nothing, right? Bounced on the same level here. Within this, there we go. Maybe we can mark this as a dash line since it's been swept, right? And yeah, this hourly also was really nice close last night. As I was watching this price, I was not sleeping last night. We were watching this price action here. This price was coming down, right? We did not quite tap into this liquidity over here, but we did sweep a decent liquidity on the 15-minute, I believe, within here. Where was this guy? Well, that's really like that little liquidity, little sweep right there. And then as well as that rising VIX fix going into that London session open. Previous 4-hour low sweeps, things like that as we were opening up here into this session. That previous hourly sweep, right? Sweep of both of these liquidities, reversal back into here, closing within the body. Price holding above the closing price of the previous candle, giving us a solid foundation for a continuation to the upside, retest of this fair value gap, and go. So that's something to watch for there. And get rid of that. Probably there's a good fair value gap right there to watch into that tomorrow as well. That's all I got on in queue for tonight. Just gonna be watching those 12-hour levels, right? And we'll do some back testing. Actually, we'll do some back testing today on that as well. I want to take a look at it with you guys here and see what's going on. Let's see. Yeah, continuation into here, possible long opportunity into maybe retesting the levels that we've broken before here. This 4 hours cooking up to the downside. I got 54 minutes left in it. Maybe open low, high close next 4 hour candle. In terms of crypto, let me open up my shit. I gotta check out. Gotta log in. Hold up. Let's see here. Gotta open up my. Gotta log in to this shit. Come on. This is not gonna fucking take my Face ID. Let's see what we have on crypto. Crypto gun doesn't look too bad. I would say this one looks decent. We are coming into a lot of these monthly opens right now, or these new monthly candles, right? So these new monthly candles, we can see potential retraces, potential maybe continuations into the upside. So we're going to be watching these here. Let's see if we have anything that's worthwhile. Maybe that's already going. I'm like, why does it show me the lowest ones? ETH Bass, Sahara Wet. Probably watch for maybe retraces into previous monthly lows. Then continuations out of there. Near doesn't look bad. That weekly is fucking solid. Monthly is also looking good. I would take that. Near is going to be one of those that does look really good here on the daily and potentially. So retrace and retest of the OTE there. So near here broke above this, retest this fair value gap, broke above the CSD, broke above. So if we get back above this yearly open, we can see a decent continuation, maybe into like $1.90 something. I'll be watching that one. Let's see, CSD and retest of the FG. Looking decent into this month. Continuation. And here's that monthly chart. This looks pretty fucking good. Sweep of all of those lows above that quarterly yearly open. Wait, maybe even like fucking $3. Fucking send this thing. You know. She might want that. Yeah, monthly on this one doesn't look too bad. If we can maybe break above this weekly CISD, you could see a decent continuation. We can do a number like that, like this, and into these guys right there. Mr. Hayes posted hype earlier today. Let's take a look at hype. Hype retest of that CI or continuation to hold of this OTE, giving us nice continuation into the upside. What been near here? Thought I had Jupe somewhere. I do have Jupe. Yeah, Jupe doesn't look bad either. I feel like this one can be pretty decent into something. Kaido take. But with everything going on in the world, I also am like not fucking sure what we want to do out here. Form good fucking cranker through all of this LRLR, especially into that previous weekly low was nice. SFP Colonel could give us something. Previous weekly, no previous weekly low sweep. Previous month looks good. Maybe that daily on Colonel can give us something. Be like a stop with below that at current daily low. Just something light on current. Colonel stop below the current daily low. Let's see if this gives us anything. It's continuation. Let's see. TA looks like my break to the upside. Other than that, probably all I got on these. Maybe we should be looking at weeklies realistically to see what kind of price action we got here. INIT, whatever, might give us a rising 3 into this next week. Monthly iffy, but there's potential on INIT. At least give us a little something, you know. INIT rising 3 possible. Into this next week. Let's see if that works out. INIT. That is pretty much all I have on crypto. I'm not gonna go through all of these, although some of them might look decent-ish. Stonks wise, let's see what we had today. Let's see. Stonks wise, yeah, Roblox, I'm still on watch with Roblox. Retest of this fair value gap here inside, so, and I'm watching this animal. There's potential for us to go into those $87. That'd be pretty solid, I feel like, if we at least get into here. Maybe buy some longs on Roblox. See if we want to do something like that. Target, nice retrace. Netflix continuation. Nike, decent gapper today. Pep, PG, seeing a little bit of reversal. DDOG, if we can get above that CISD, will be good for us for a continuation. NPHZ, Hood above this CISD will be looking good. Hood above CISD is good. Let's see, Hood above CISD looks good. 12-hour chart is. Also, I was joking about us crashing. I don't know. We might not. Coin seen good continuation. Got that rising 3 into the upside. So now watching for potential continuation into here. Retest this little breakout area around the 230s. Wouldn't be too bad into this month, into this week. Snow would love to see the continuation above the CISD. PayPal. Autodesk. Zeta. What a fucking bounce. Just what we wanted to see on Zeta here as well. Really solid. Let's see. Yeah, Zeta doesn't look bad. I'd take some Zeta. Let's see, Zeta. That I outlined it in here. TXN Mara Zeta. So Zeta, yeah, currently retrace into this OT, now bouncing out of it. Now through that CISD will be good. Mara. Pen, retrace on daily so far. Jets, gap down. Dow, gap down. So let's see if those airlines continue. Okay, anyway, the 12-hour, right? Let's see what we have on the 12-hour levels and maybe... I don't want this. Do I want this ATR EMA? That's the 1550, probably PO3. I don't want that. TF Labs, London session. I don't want this. AFX JR. Oh, there's a Exalico. Let's see. Let me get this macros indicator. Macro tracker. Let's copy this and let's take a look here. All right. Let's see if we drop down to the 5-minute, right? Let's see here. Let's go back a few days and maybe let's see how price action is reacting here during those sessions, right? So where's our 9:30? So 9:30 opens up. Let's see how we're reacting, right? Over here during macro, we're coming into this level, and this is what I'm talking about, right? During the macros is when I typically like to take those trades, or when I'm gonna start taking those fucking trades, is during a macro. Let's see. Let's yeah, okay. My God. Anyways, right, 12-hour levels, we're so like I was saying, during those levels we're looking for reactions, right, out of those levels and seeing what price is doing at those levels during certain times. So I like to look at macro times, right, because typically those either give us a retrace of some sort or they sweep a liquidity during that time. So over here you can see how we're retesting this level right there. It's 12-hour at 25.098, not providing any sort of continuation above it. And then over here, SFB, we sweep this level and cannot displace it, so we get that reversal into the downside. Similarly, coming in here, not quite touching that level, but we're staying between those levels, right? And that's what I want you guys to notice, and for myself too, right? It's really good. As we're coming down into these levels, we're sweeping some of these liquidities, and then we're also noticing, okay, well, what is price doing around those levels? You can see that 24.7475, right? Right here, we come into this level. Obviously, drop below it initially, come back to retest it, right? Typically, if you were retesting this level, that should have been a rejection over here like that. But we are getting a continuation through that level. That gives us confidence for a continued upside here. Right, over here, same thing. We're coming into this 25.098 again. We have that macro. We're sweeping that previous hourly high, giving us that reversal into the downside, into 30 minutes at least, right? And then we bounce back up into this level. Can't hold above it. Price displaces back below it. We see a little wick. Bodies holding below. We continue to the downside. Not quite into these liquidities, but at least into that one right there. All right, there's another macro example, or at least the opening example. 25.01350, right? There's that level. We retested it. We broke below it. Now we're kind of coming in, retesting it over here, doing that opening price action. Not only are we not able to displace above this Asia session, London session high, but we also cannot displace above this 25.01350. That's why those levels are so important. That's why we look at them on that lower time frame, right? To see the interaction between those levels and see what price actually wants to do going into that session and how it wants to interact between those levels, right? So get that rejection back through this 24.96325, come back, retest that 24.96325, and get that continuation to the downside into those lower prices, right? There's all of those liquidities being swept. Let's continue here. Let's continue cooking up. Same thing over here, right? There's that during macro 945, come in, retest 24.96325, and we can just capture this moment, right? Just this rejection initially gives us a decent enough retrace. 500 tickles, that's enough, right? And similarly, you can cash this bounce 24.74575. You can target these liquidities, right? But if we cook through these, then we're looking for this, and then that next level of rejection, of potential rejection, is going to be that same rejection that has happened before at 24.96325, right? And we get that rejection to the downside. And same thing over here, right? As we're going into this Asia session over here, continued rejection. We're staying between those two levels. Break above this one. This was actually recent. Break above this level. Break above this next level at 25.098. Now we're through 25.098. Next level above is 25.19375. As we get through that level, we're now trading up to 25.32675. That's kind of how we're using those, right? We always, and that's just something that I've learned from. I'm yapping so much today. And I'll give a shout out to Trader's Paradise, right? He always, Matt from Rocket Scooter. He always talks about that we want to be trading from something to something, right? This gives us a solid enough foundation of, okay, well, I'm going to trade from something to something, right? Similarly over here, as we are trading from something, as we are rejecting this 25.098 to something. You could have taken that rejection down into this 25.013. As we break 25.013, okay, what is our next potential here? Well, we can do the previous daily 50s. That's an important level. And we can also do that 24.74575, right? Because that's another important level. We can even, maybe we have a trade here. Maybe we have another ad here. That's only, depending on size that you're trading, that's 170 points apart or tickles apart. So watch your size there. That's for myself too, right? But as we're coming into these, right, we're trading from something to something. As we reject this, maybe now we're going to be looking at the OTE here and seeing where price wants to go between those levels, things like that, right? So from here, we're trading from something, whereas we're coming into that 80.45, we're rejecting this, sweeping that London session high, rejecting that, giving us a reversal into the downside. So at least right there is our range, 300 tickles. It's pretty fucking decent. 25.32675, we break that level, we continue to the downside, retest this level, 25.19375, we break through that, gusher, retest, or right there, right? As we break through it, try to retest it, try to come back above it, doesn't hold, body closing below it. Okay, what's our next level? It's 25.098. All right, well, we break through straight through that. Cool, what's our next level? It's 25.01350. All right, break through that. What's our next level? 963, right? And then over here, as we're going into this session overnight, we're also rejecting these highs right there at 25.098, right? Continued rejection. 25.098, retesting this during the Asia session open here at 24.96325, giving us a little bit from something to something, right? There's 200 tickles right there for you. Captured, right? Continue bouncing between those two lows, break above it, retest this 25.098 again, rejection into the, what is this session? Let's go into that overnight session. So we get that rejection into here, and this is where Friday comes in, right? Friday 25.03, price can't close above it. There's that price tapping into it during the macro once again, and then from there we see a nice rejection, at least from here to there, right? That's a trade. You can maybe wager that stop and see potentially maybe we can come up a little bit higher above it and sweep that liquidity, but realistically on a higher time frame the body is still closing below this level, and that's what we're watching. That's why I have them on the 15-minute, that's why I have them on the 5-minute. So that's my quick lesson on those 12 hours. So not quick maybe, but something useful, right? Still something useful for everybody, and hope you guys learned something today. If you did, give it a like, give it a share. Tell me what you think. Snow, I love you. I appreciate you. And keep them peeps coming. 250 viewers by April 1st. I believe in you. I think we can make that happen. So let's do it. We'll see you guys on the next one. Actually, check us out on Twitter at The Paper Traders. Check Mr. Hayes out at Hayes Beats. And we'll see you. Peace.